Hello, people. How you doing? I wanted to discuss a couple things today. I want to discuss Gene Borrello and Tony Pizza. I don't really like to discuss Tony Pizza, but it's kind of a funny thing. Shows kind of defiant how defiant Tony Pizza is and what people think about him. But anyway, first I want to talk about the more important thing. I want to talk about Gene Borrello. Now, there's been some reports put out that have not been accurate, and I'm going to clear those up today. Um, One, I made a mistake, which I'm going to correct because the information was given to me, and I went with it, and I'll correct that information. But there's something I want to discuss about Gene. Gene went in to on the 8th, went before Judge Block, and got sentenced for charges 1 through 2, and he's going to be in jail for 6 months. And then he's going to come back in May. They set the date for the beginning of May, and he's coming back to be pretty much decide how much time he's going to do for violations on 6 through 15. Those are new charges, 9 new charges on Gene. And there's been some reports put on here that Gene has a deal where that would be concurrent with the sentence that he's doing right now, which means he would be out in 6 months on everything. And, I wanted to make sure this was accurate. So what I did is I talked to people that were involved, one person at the courthouse, and then I got some documentation I'm going to show you now to show you that there has been no agreement made for anybody running 6 months concurrent. Can it happen? Yes. Can Gene be out in a month? Yes. Gene is an informant. What's to say he's not going to inform on somebody up in Tampa? He was doing all sorts of illegal stuff while he was down there. So my advice to anybody down there that was doing illegal stuff with Gene Borrello, you better hope that he doesn't feel like getting out of jail a little bit earlier and you were doing something very serious with him, because he will inform on you. He's informed on 2 mobsters, Ronnie Gialonzo and Vinny Asaro, and these were bosses of the Bonanno family. So if Gene's going to rat on them or inform on them, for guys down in Tampa to think that Gene will not inform on them, they got something else coming. Maybe he won't. Maybe he has nothing to offer, and I hope that's the case, because I hate to see him put people in prison just so he can get out of prison. Because it's done before, and that's what these informants done. Gene is a perfect example of what happens when you let certain people that are loose cannons into the system or make them informants to put away guys like Ronnie Gialonzo and Vinny Asaro. Vinny Asaro got out. He's older now. He's a very sick man. And Ronnie G's he's still doing several more years because of what Gene did by ratting on him. And I can guarantee you that if Ronnie Gialonzo was on the street, he wouldn't be doing the things that Gene's doing on the street. And when he went before the judge this time, the judge pretty much told him, "Look, this ain't Godfather Part 5. When are you going to put this stuff to the side?" So Gene got off very easy on charges 1 through 4 with 6 months. Does he deserve a lot of time? I don't think so. I mean, he deserves some more time for what he did. There's no doubt about that, because it's not one charge. It's like 9 charges. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you got some podcasters around here making statements that Gene's going to be concurrent. You got people that listen to this and are arguing with me when I'm putting my shows up underneath. No, Gene's doing 6 months. Here's where that information came from. It's people around Gene. This is wishful thinking on Gene's part. I'm only going to do 6 months. So people that were in the court said, "Oh, Gene's only going to do 6 months. Everything's going to run concurrent." That's how Gene wants it. It's like I said, can it happen? Yes. But it has not happened as of this day. As of today, it has not happened. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you the evidence that I have to show that it has not happened. First of all, 2 sites have already reported that it hasn't happened. Justice Tech Pros, they put up the documents also, and Angel Gotti last night on her show. So what I'm going to do is put up this document right here. Okay. So this is from the court when after he was sentenced. It said on February 8th, 2023, the court held an in-person conference with all counsel and probation present. After the hearing, the counsel, let me make this a little bit wider for me. Okay. The counsel, after the hearing, the counsel and defendant, the court revoked the defendant remaining term of supervised release and sentenced him on charge 1 and 2 of the violation report to 6 months in custody. There were 4 charges here, so they charged him with 1 and 2, and they dropped 3 and 4. The defendant is advised of his right to appeal and is remanded to the custody of the U.S. Marshal for designation to a facility. The next in-person conference is scheduled for May 9th, 2023 at 3 p.m. before Judge Block. Okay, so I wanted you to see that because I want to explain something now. Nothing in there says anything about concurrent. There is no other agreements. Gene left the courtroom at that moment and was taken away by the marshals. Can his lawyer be working behind the scenes? Yes. But is it going to be concurrent? Who knows? But as of right now, it's officially not concurrent. And this was put up for people that favor Gene. And, if you favor Gene, that's fine. But favor him and put up the right facts. That's what it comes down to. And so, okay, then for that, more evidence that there was no deal made. There's a gentleman there that runs the media department at the Justice Department that I talked to. And let me pull that up. Okay, 1 second, please. Okay, this is from John Marzulli. Now, he's the head of the media department. He used to work for the Daily News. And he's the guy you talk to. Right before he went in, I emailed him and said, can you please let me know what happens after the trial? And then I told him what I heard. Woody came back and said, no, Gene was not remanded when he walked into the building. So I'm correcting that now. He was remanded after the judge sentenced him in the courtroom. That's the fact. So that I will basically say wasn't correct. The United States Marshals came in after he was sentenced and took him away. So let me read you the rest of this. Okay. And this is what John Marzulli says. He says he was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment on charges 1 and 2, those to which he previously pled guilty in satisfaction of charges 1 through 4. Borrello was arraigned on charges 6 through 15. Okay. Judge Block set a May date. No other agreements were made on charges being concurrent. And I asked him that specifically. And that's John Marzulli, and that's his job. This is a man that would know what to present and what to tell people. And I wanted to make sure that that was inaccurate. So until someone can prove me wrong, this is what I'm going to go with right here, just so you do know. And I want to play something else too, because this is an issue too. Let me just take this down. Okay, 1 second, please. This is going to be Gene's last video before he went into jail. And I'm going to tell you why I'm playing this video. Gene, when he went to court, was still blaming everybody for his problems but himself. He didn't say that anything was his fault. Everything was everybody else's fault. And this was noticed by the judge. And this is a big problem with Gene. If he's sitting for the next 6 months, maybe he should just come back and say, look, Your Honor, I messed up. These things are my fault that I did. Nobody else did them. But I want to play this for you because I want you to see how many people he blames besides himself.
Then all this stuff, and it get put up on the Lee Cole show, all these documentations of me with a weapon, investigation. I'm in New York today. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put on Instagram that I'm in New York. That's not a violation. I mean, let's be real here. The FBI is being like ridiculous now, and the government. So I'm just gonna put this out there now. Let's call it what it is. If they thought that Gene Borrello, okay, had anything to do with a firearm, Navy SEALs would be kicking my fucking door, and that's first off, okay? Second off, okay, they're stating that I went and threatened somebody. They're stating that I was locked up 3 times in Florida. That's a lie. I was locked up 1 time, and the case was dismissed because my ex-girlfriend, okay, who was a psychopathic lunatic, okay, who literally just, let me not get into it. Anyway, so basically with that, okay, I was not locked up 3 times. Then
Okay, I wanted you to see that because right after that video, the girl that he called the Lunatic Girl, he made up with, and that girl sent a note to the judge that basically said it was her fault and not Gene's for Gene being violent toward her. She said that he thought she was going to commit suicide, and that's why he called her 50 times. Okay, and so she's back in his camp. He thought that was going to be enough to maybe get him off of these 9 charges that he's charged with. He may get a couple of them thrown out, but there's serious charges here that he has to deal with that have nothing to even do with the girl. I mean, they confiscated his phone. He wasn't supposed to have a second phone. And on that phone, they found him talking about steroids and illegal drug use, which he was on probation. He wasn't supposed to have anything to do with it. So they got him on 3 lies there. They got him with the phone, the burner phone that he was not supposed to have. He was told only 1 phone. And to give you an idea how serious this is, the FBI raided his home and took his phone from him. They're not going to go out of their way to do something like that if they don't think it's serious. They think it's serious. And so what they did is they took the phone, they found this stuff in the phone. Then there's an incident where there's a guy, he admits on the phone that a guy went into someone's job and threatened them on the behalf of Gene Borrello. That's fact. That's on the report. So, and here you got Gene is blaming everybody in the world but himself. And this is the problem, people. This is what these informants do. Very rarely will one of them say it was my fault. I did something wrong. They blame everybody around them for informing. They'll make excuses why they informed. And then a good percentage of them, when they go into the program and after they inform on people, they get out in the street. And what's the first thing they do? Crimes, more crimes. The majority of them, that's what they do. They hit their wives, they beat somebody up, they do a murder. Murder, yes, you actually have had people do murders while they're part of the program, while they're informants, and more than once. And people say, okay, Lee, why do you keep talking about this? Because that's what these guys are doing. This is news. We don't have enough people talking about this. We'll have people like Angel Gotti, Justice Tech Pro talk about it. Lately, a show called Stacks has been talking about it. But more people need to talk about this stuff, of what these informants do when they get out into the real world, once they walk out of prison. And to be fair, Gene has done some time. He's done a few years inside. But then he figured it was best for him to inform on people, have them sent away so he can get out. Okay, say he gets out. How about if he just improves his life and does better? The man went down to Florida, had the opportunity in Florida to get his crap together. People would love that opportunity. He went down there. The judge says, do your stuff. But what's the first thing he did that when he got down there? He wrote a fake letter that went back to the judge. That was his first new charge, stating that he worked at a roofing company, which he did not work at. And he sent 2 letters to the judge. And then he got caught getting off again, not showing up at a hearing. And the reason he didn't show up at the hearing, he said he had strep throat. But then they seen him at a Tampa Bay game the following day after he's telling him this. And he was fine. This is what they do. Maybe they don't do it as bad as Gene, but Gene has done so many things here. And people say, oh, Lee, you want to see Gene go to jail? No, I want to see Gene get his shit together. But Gene also has to pay for being brutal toward people. I mean, we're not talking crimes like he's out there even like committing a crime, a larceny or something like that. We're talking about where he is physically threatening to hurt somebody. That's what we're talking about. And that's next on the Al Capone picture back there. That's my TV that's on. That's not my computer. That's my TV that's over there. And people have asked me why I'm in this area of my house. This is temporary. I have taken a room and it's being turned into a studio. It's almost done. I'm very excited because that's where my show is going to come from, is my studio. And it's going to be a very professional looking studio. We just got a couple things done on it. New pictures, just a bunch of stuff. And then this hat you see right here. Today, as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to the 666 Ranch, which is part of the Yellowstone trilogy show. They have offsetting shows that are coming off of that. And I'm going to the 666 Ranch where they are filming it. And I'm going to take some videos and hopefully I can get a nice half-hour video, put it down, and show you the 666 Ranch. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so I'm going on here. There's one more person I want to talk about. The guy's full of laughs. He says a lot of things that don't make sense. But Asanino, he has a great show. He put up this video, and I want you guys to see this because it is funny. Okay, let's see where it is. This is called Tony Pizza Gets Booted from in front of a business in Florida. Okay. I'm only going to play a little bit of this, but this is Tony. He's sitting in front of these 2 businesses and he starts fighting with the people and he does not want to leave in front of the business because these owners are coming out and telling Tony, look, you're affecting our business. So let me play this right here.
And you didn't even come into my store. You're harassing my customer. That's why I got the freaking phone call.
I didn't harass none of your customers.
I got it.
I got none of your customers on here. None of them.
I don't want you to feel like this isn't a place that you can come, but you know, people are.
Buddy, you're talking about idiots that don't exist. You're talking to me about idiots that don't exist. There's not one person out here. Show me one customer that said I did something.
Just look at how this piece of shit acts, okay? The only bum that feels like he's entitled to everything. Ha ha ha. But watch the other guy. He had enough now.
You're belligerent. You're freaking yelling. You're argumentative. What do you mean?
Listen,
it's 2 options. It's 2 options. Why are you still here? Just fucking leave if we're so bad.
I'm talking to him. On his
Okay, what I'm trying to say is Tony has a dog with him. As you can hear it barking. It's a big dog also. And the dog is actually protecting Tony and like saying, if you come near, I'm going to bite your leg off. And his dog is a full-grown big dog, probably about 60, 70 pounds, so it could do some damage. Okay, let's get back to this.
and
No, you're on our property.
no, I'm actually on
Your
his.
address is 925. All right, bet. I got you.
Yeah, okay.
Bet.
Yeah, listen, no jokes ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. You're
That's
call or
Listen, man, you do what the fuck you want to do. I don't care.
don't
I'm
talk to
leaving
me
with
that way.
no, because you're coming out here like you're something. You ain't
Yeah,
shit.
I ain't shit.
You ain't shit, bro. You ain't gonna have a
ain't
job.
shit.
You ain't
I
gonna
ain't
have a
shit.
job.
I'm a bum. I'm a bum. I ain't shit.
You ain't gonna have a job. Guys, I'll talk to you later.
Their damn internet.
I'm sorry. Welcome to entertainment and the mob genre. I'm sorry, people. I keep forgetting to hit this damn button when I come back on. This is just Tony being entertaining and blaming people that own their businesses for him sitting in front of them, and they're believing that he's interfering with their. He even talks about the show that he's doing and saying, "I got people on here that are fighting with me. I got to deal with these people," and he's telling them about this show that he's doing. And I just wanted to show you guys that, because one thing about Tony, you can say what you want about him, but there's no evidence that he's an informant. That's more entertainment than anything. Okay. And then I want to talk about one final thing before I end this show. You have people that are going to people's houses on here, showing up on the street they're living and filming it. And some of these people deserve it because they were fakes and frauds, and they attacked a lot of people on here. They've done some horrible stuff, and they've been exposed. But some of these people are taking it too far, showing up on the streets where these people that are being exposed live. They're showing up in the streets. They're not knocking on the doors. You know, showing up on someone's street is easy to do. Knocking on that person's door is a whole different ball game. But you have these guys, people that have families. They got their wives there. They got their daughters there, and they're still showing up at these houses. That could become very dangerous. Somebody's going to get hurt here. Someone's going to show up at the wrong person's house. You can only do this so many times. I know 3 people now where someone showed up on their street. You know, I'm lucky. I live in a small Texas town. We have a cop here that runs this town, and he looks like Sam McCloud, the old Sam McCloud. And if anybody comes in his town and play that game, he's going to throw him out of town real quick. You know, but if you did that, and plus this is Texas. If you come to someone's house here in Texas, the chances are you're going to get hurt. But, you know, they're doing this in New Jersey and Delaware, places like that, you know, these real liberal states that, you know, that guy came out and hurt the people in the street, he'll probably go to jail too. But this is what this has become, this genre. You know, guys want to entertain, so they're going to people's houses and hanging out on the streets. Wow. Guys, when you go on these streets, if someone comes out of their house with a baseball bat, I want to see how tough you really are. It's easy to do it when no one's walking out the door coming at you. It's hard when you get confronted. And if you keep doing this, you're going to get confronted. I'll give you an example. Chicago Muscle. I said from the very beginning that he was a fraud. I argued with him and said he was a fraud. But I'm going to tell you what. I bet you that you guys will not go walk in front of his house. He's a big dude. Probably can handle himself, even though he tells many fairy tales. But it doesn't matter. It could be a little guy's house that you go in front of. If he feels like you're threatening him and his family, his whole attitude could change and hurt somebody. So you guys keep it up, keep coming in front of, you know, to people's houses. Eventually it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire, guys. It's not a smart thing to do. And with that, I like to say, please, if you want to, I do not beg for money on here. I put this down here. I have a Cash App and I got a PayPal, and it will be underneath this video. If you want to donate to me, and that's how people donate to me all the time through Cash App, and I appreciate it. I will be doing a live this week. and maybe one or two. I don't like doing a lot of lives because I like putting videos down. It's more of a challenge. It takes more skill to put videos down and get views. It just does. With that, people, please like this video if you like it. Tell me what you think underneath here. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope this was entertaining, because that's what I'm trying to do, is give you guys good entertainment with facts. With that, people, like it. If you haven't subbed, please sub. Everybody take care.